Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. In today's video, I'll be using Paper Rose Studios' Rainbow Garden collection. There are quite a few products that are part of this collection, and I have several of them. I'll quickly show you the products, then I have several cards to share using this collection. First up is the 12x12 paper collection called Rainbow Garden. This is also available in 6x6 size. One thing I love about Paper Rose's 12x12 collections, on the back of the front sheet, there are tons of sentiment cut-aparts in a rainbow of colors that match the paper collection. There's also a strip of pattern paper at the very bottom of each of the sheets. On the back side of this strip, it has the brand and the paper name. It's nice that Paper Rose has designed their 12x12 collections so there is zero waste. You can use every last bit of the paper. This collection is full of cheerful colors, lots of fun designs. We have butterflies, dragonflies, lots of florals. There are whimsical gnomes. And the 12x12 collection also includes a sheet of cut-apart images and sentiments. The 6x6 size has similar designs, just on a smaller scale. There are a couple of coordinating paper pads to go along with the original Rainbow Garden collection. I have the 6x6 version of Rainbow Garden Basics. It includes 18 double-sided pattern papers, 3 each of 12 designs. Lots of similar patterns. There's the gnomes, flowers, butterflies, dragonflies, and on the back side there are lots of beautiful rainbow watercolor looking designs. I have another paper pad that's not necessarily part of the Rainbow Garden collection, but I think the designs still work with the collection. This one's called Rainbow Wood. I have the 6x6 version. It's also available in 12x12 size. This paper collection also has 18 double-sided patterns, 3 each of 12 designs. I love using wood grain designs, and this set has a beautiful assortment of rainbow colored wood grain prints. You may have noticed in the Rainbow Garden 12x12 collection, there is one design that has a similar wood grain print. The last paper collection I'm showing you is Rainbow Garden 1.0. This is the 6x8 Quick Cards collection. I've used their quick card collections before. These are perfect if you need to put together some quick and simple cards. The collection includes an inspiration sheet with 6 different layout ideas. So you could follow these layouts, or you could just use the elements in the collection and come up with your own designs. The collection also includes 18 double-sided pattern papers, 3 each of 12 designs, plus 4 pop-out embossed die-cut sheets. I absolutely love Paper Rose's embossed die cuts. No fussy cutting required, and it has this beautiful glossy detail. There are lots of images and also sentiments. And here's a look at the pattern paper that's included in the collection. What's really fun is it has the look of another pattern paper plus a cardstock layer, but this is all one sheet, so you're not adding any extra dimension. And since the papers are 6 by 8 inches, you can easily get 2 backgrounds for an A2 size card. There's a variety of fun patterns on the back side. Several watercolor designs. There's a rainbow wood grain, a lovely blue wood grain. Here's a beautiful floral pattern. And the collection does include 3 of each, so you have lots of paper to use. I also have an assortment of embossed die cut and cut apart packs that all coordinate with the Rainbow Garden collection. I have Rainbow Garden insects, rainbow butterflies. I also have the rainbow insects, and these are cut aparts. The embossed die cuts all simply pop out. Then I have Rainbow Garden embossed die cuts and also cut aparts. And if you are interested in any of the products I use in this video, I do have links in the description box below. I've already gone ahead and cut out all of the sentiments, and this is what was on the back of the cover sheet of the Rainbow Garden 12x12 collection. So let's go ahead and get started with card design number 1. I have 8 different card designs to share with you. I will be using some card sketches for inspiration. This first sketch is from Sugar Pea Designs. This is Sugar Sketch number 22. And if you're interested in any of the sketches I show in this video, including the measurements, I share all of that information on my coordinating blog post. The link is in the description box below, or you can simply head over to KristieMarcotte.com. For my first card, I have this lovely floral paper for the background. For the larger rectangle piece, I'm using a light yellow tone-on-tone pattern. And for the strip at the bottom of the card, I'm using a light blue and white design. And this card features papers from both the 6x6 Rainbow Garden Basics and also the 12x12 Rainbow Garden Collection. For the image box, I used some white shimmer cardstock, and I did round all of the corners. For that image box, I used a corner rounder that's 1/8 of an inch. And for the yellow panel, I rounded just the 2 right side corners, and I used a 1/4 inch corner rounder. I'll layer most of the pieces on some dark blue cardstock. And for my cardstock layers, I generally add an additional 1/8 of an inch. Once I've adhered most of the elements on my card, I'll be stamping this sentiment directly onto the image box. So I will be using my mini MISTI. I'm adding the sentiment hello, and this is from Paper Rose's Super Day Sentiment Stamp Set. I showed the With Love sentiment packaging at first. I have both of the stamp sets, and even though they're just small sets, they have a great variety of sentiments. For black ink, I'm using Honeybee Stamp's Intense Black ink, and I will ink up this stamp a few times to get a nice solid impression. For the small banner underneath the image box on the left side, I'm using some of the watercolor pattern paper. I'll cut a fishtail on the bottom, then put glue on the back and adhere it in place. I know on the card sketch it had a different shape banner. Not really sure I could cut that out, and I don't have any dies in that shape, so I decided just to go with a traditional banner. Next, I'll add one of the embossed butterflies. I'll put glue just behind the body. That way I can lift the wings up for some extra dimension. Then I'll adhere it right above the hello sentiment. For a final finishing touch, I'll add a small white heart with gold foil outline on the purple banner. So there is my finished card, and I did make 4 using this design. For card design number 2, the card sketch is from Sugar Pea Designs. This is Sugar Sketch number 19. For the background of my card, I have this really pretty rainbow watercolor design. I'll be adding a narrow strip of the yellow tone-on-tone pattern paper. And for the large strip on the left side of the card, I'm using more of the pretty floral paper. I'll round all 4 corners using the 1/8 inch corner rounder. Layer that piece on some blue cardstock. Then I'll add the yellow tone-on-tone strip toward the top of the card. Layer the background piece on the same dark blue cardstock. Put adhesive on the back and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. All of my cards in this video are American Standard A2 size, 4¼ inches by 5½ inches. Next, I'll add the floral strip on the left side of the card. Using some white shimmer cardstock, I cut out a stitch circle die cut using a set from Paper Rose. Before adhering it down, I did put a scrap piece of cardstock on the right side of the circle, just where it goes off of that floral strip, and that'll help it stay at the same level. Next, I'll add one of the beautiful dragonfly embossed die cuts. Just adhere that down with some glue. For a sentiment, I'm adding hello there, and this is one of the cut aparts from the back of the 12x12 cover sheet. Before adhering it on the left side of the dragonfly, I'll put a scrap piece of cardstock behind the sentiment, just in the area where it goes off of the circle. Then I'll adhere it in place with some glue. For a final finishing touch, I'm adding some silver holographic mini circle peel-off stickers. I'll put 3 in the upper right hand corner and 2 underneath the sentiment on the left side. So there is my finished card, and I did make 4 using this design. Since I'll be donating the majority of the cards I'm showing in this video, I'm not adding a lot of dimension. That way the local organizations and charities won't have to pay any additional postage to mail them. Card design number 3 is a very simple card design. I absolutely love this floral paper from the 12 by 12 collection. With such a beautiful design, I really don't want to cover up the images. I will add a narrow strip of a light blue watercolor design. It's about 3/4 of an inch wide, and I'll adhere it about 1/4 of an inch up from the bottom of the card. After layering the background piece on some purplish blue cardstock, I put my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. Next, I'll add the sentiment "Just for You," and I did put some double-sided adhesive tape on the back to adhere the sentiment. Then for a final finishing touch, using Nuvo crystal drops, this is the Morning Dew color, I'll add a drop in the center of the large flowers and also 3 around the sentiment. Then I'll lightly tap my card to flatten out those drops. So there is my finished card, and I did make 4 using this design. For card design number 4, the card sketch is from Cards TV. This is sketch number 24. For the background of my card, I have this fun pattern paper with lots of tiny rainbow dragonflies. I'll layer the background piece on some purple cardstock. For the diagonal piece on the front of the card, using some of the rainbow watercolor paper. And I did cut this piece just a little bit smaller than what's indicated on the card sketch. I wanted to get 2 of those diagonal pieces from 1 sheet of paper. I layered that piece on the same purple cardstock. Now I'll put ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base. And after I did that, I realized I put my card front on upside down. All those dragonflies are upside down in the background. And I could just let it go and be okay with the dragonflies upside down. Maybe they're all flying down instead of up, but it really bothered me. So I did remove the card front and adhere it on another card base. For the longer, narrow strip at the bottom of the card, I'm using the cutoff portion from the end of the 12 by 12 paper. You can see the Paper Rose label and website on the back side. Before adhering it down, I will put a scrap cardstock piece on the very left side where it goes off of the pattern paper panel. Then I'll put glue on the back and adhere it in place. Next, I'll add the sentiment "It's Your Birthday." I'll put a small scrap piece of pattern paper at the top portion of the sentiment and a scrap piece of cardstock on the very left side. Then I'll adhere the sentiment above the orange polka dot strip. This card will be featuring 3 of the embossed dragonfly die cut images, and I did pop them up using some thin foam dimension. I'll add the large dragonfly down first, the medium-sized dragonfly in the upper left-hand corner, and the smallest dragonfly underneath the sentiment on the right side. For embellishments, I'll add 2 of the silver holographic mini circle peel-offs in the upper right-hand corner. So there is my finished card, and I did make 4 using this design. For 2 of the cards, I used dragonfly paper in the background, and the other 2 cards have butterfly paper in the background. If you've never used Paper Rose's embossed die cuts before, I highly recommend them. Pictures don't do them justice. The embossed detail is absolutely gorgeous. Now moving on to card design number 5. The card sketch is from Cards TV. This is sketch number 23. This is a great sketch for featuring lots of different pattern paper or cardstock. It's also a good sketch for finishing off some of those narrow strips of pattern paper. For the largest panel, I'm using the lovely floral design, and I'll also use that same floral for the second from the bottom strip. For the other two pieces, I'm using some of the lovely watercolor designs. I'll add all 4 of the pieces on some blue cardstock, put ATG tape on the back, and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. Another reason I really like this sketch, it's perfect for featuring some of the 3x4 cut-aparts. And the cut-apart designs in the Rainbow Garden collection are all just beautiful. I did cut down one of the cut-apart sheets from the 12x12 collection, and I'll be using all 12 of the designs. I layered the cut-apart image on some blue cardstock before adhering it on the center of the card. Then for a final finishing touch, I'll add more of the silver holographic mini circle peel-offs. Put 3 in the upper left-hand corner and 2 in the lower right-hand corner. And for 2 of the cards, I decided not to add a sentiment on the outside. For card design number 6, the card sketch is from Cards TV. This is sketch number 11. For this set of cards, I'm using some of the rainbow wood pattern paper for the background. I'll be layering it on some dark blue cardstock. For the 2 triangle pieces, I use some of the light blue and white pattern paper, and that's from the 12x12 collection. I'll adhere both of the triangles down using some glue. Put adhesive on the back, layer the wood grain paper on the dark blue cardstock. Then I'll put ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. This is another great sketch for featuring some of the 3x4 cut-aparts. For this card, I selected one of the fun whimsical gnomes. I'll layer the cut-apart on the same dark blue cardstock, adhere it on the front of the card, and for a little extra detail, I'll add one of the small dragonfly embossed die cuts. I'll adhere it in the upper left-hand corner. And I kept all of my card pieces organized in one of scrapbook.com's stack and sort trays. When I have some of the narrow strips of pattern paper left over, I like to put them on the inside of the card just for a little extra detail. For embellishments, I'll use more of the silver holographic mini circle peel-offs. I'll put 3 of the medium-sized circles in the upper right-hand corner and 2 of the small circles in the lower left-hand corner. So there is my finished card, and I did make 4 using this design. The 2 floral cut-aparts already have sentiments on them, and for the 2 gnomes, I decided not to add a sentiment. Sometimes the different organizations like to have some blank cards on hand. That way they can use the cards for any occasion. For card design number 7, using one of my favorite card sketches, this sketch is from OWH, it's number 218. I selected this lovely rainbow watercolor paper for the background, adding a strip of the yellow tone-on-tone pattern paper. I'll layer the background on some dark blue cardstock. This card will be featuring the beautiful rainbow dragonfly pattern paper from the 12x12 collection. I wanted some of the larger images. Before adhering the dragonfly panel down, I will add a scrap piece of pattern paper at the top, just where it goes off of the yellow tone-on-tone strip. That way it stays at the same level. Then I'll put glue on the back and adhere the dragonfly paper more on the right side of the card, following the design of the card sketch. For a sentiment, I'm adding sending love and hugs. I'll cut a fishtail on the left side. Before adhering it down, I will add a small scrap piece of cardstock, just in the area where it goes off of the dragonfly paper. Then I'll put glue on the back and adhere it in place. And on the card sketch, it does have the sentiment banner going a little bit lower than that dragonfly panel, but I always like to add it just a little bit higher. For embellishments, I'll add 3 of the silver holographic mini circle peel-offs on the left side. So there is my finished card, and this time I made a total of 6. 3 of them feature the dragonflies and the other 3 feature butterflies. I love using this sketch. It's perfect for featuring some pretty pattern paper. Now moving on to card design number 8. This is another very simple card design, perfect for featuring more of the 3x4 cut-aparts. For the background of my card, using more of the rainbow wood grain pattern paper, and this is part of the 12x12 collection, I'll be layering the cut-apart and the background piece on some dark brown cardstock. Before adhering the cut-apart, I'll first add it on a stitched banner die cut, and I cut this out of vellum. By using vellum, it'll add some beautiful detail, and you'll still be able to see the rainbow wood grain background. After putting glue on the back, I did place a large acrylic block on top for some added weight while the glue dried. Now I'll layer the background piece on the same dark brown cardstock. Put ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. For a final finishing touch, I'll add more of the silver holographic mini circle peel-offs. Put 3 in the upper right hand corner and 2 in the lower left hand corner on the banner. So there is my finished card, and I did make 4 using this design. This is another set I decided to leave off the sentiment. Now here's another look at the 34 cards I made using Paper Rose Studios Rainbow Garden collection. I used the Rainbow Garden 12x12 paper, the Rainbow Garden Basic 6x6 paper, a little bit of the Rainbow Wood 6x6 collection, and also an assortment of the embossed die cuts. This is a beautiful collection, fun and cheerful colors, lots of great images, florals, butterflies, dragonflies, whimsical gnomes, and more. If you are interested in any of the products I used in this video, I do have links in the description box below. Paper Rose is located in Australia, and they do ship their products internationally, but you can also purchase them here in the US, and I have links for both locations in the description box. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.